Hi there, this is Karen from Soul Shimmer Designs, and my project for today are these funky slip-on shoes. I used heat transfer vinyl from Teckwrap for this, and the shoes I got on AliExpress, and I'm sure you could get them on Amazon. They're a little bit squishy, but not too squishy. So for the vinyl, I used the heat transfer blue colour that I found in the starters pack from Teckwrap, and if you've used HTV before, you'll know that you need to place it with the colour side facing down, and when you send it to print, you send it mirrored. And this is just printing off now. And I've weeded one of my decals. I just wanted to make sure it turned out okay, and just showing you here how I weed the second decal. And I find, because of the texture of the HTV, because it's quite rubbery or stringy sometimes, it does come off really well, but I find using tweezers is much easier and more helpful than using the weeding pen. Especially here, I had some palm trees on the sunglasses, and they came out perfectly with the tweezers. So now I have my mini heat press, and I always set that on medium. I'm not quite sure of the temperature of that, but medium seems to be a good place to start. And I've set up my decals as I'd like them to look and sit on the shoes. They don't stick on this material, but you can see that, and I didn't have any heat transfer tape either, or heat resistant tape, I should say. So I have a heat resistant sheet there that I wanted to try, and just making sure everything is centered as I want it, and obviously making sure that I don't burn my fingers on the mini heat press, because those things get really hot. So I'm just going over with the transparent or heat resistant sheet, and I found that it was probably a little bit too strong. It didn't seem to be getting a lot of the heat through, which I know is its purpose, but I just needed it to make sure that it got through so it would stick actually onto the shoes. And I just waited a little bit and did a test, and you can see there it hasn't worked, or not at the side part. The middle part seemed to be okay. So I'm just experimenting a little bit with the heat resistant sheet again, and I just didn't want to take the chance of melting the shoes, or because this was a bit of an experiment on my part too. So I'm using the sheet, and then I'm not using the sheet, going a bit of back and forth, and I probably put a little bit too much pressure sometimes, but this is all a little bit trial and error, so we just have to see. So I've left that one now, put that to the side to cool off, and I'll peel that off when it's a lot cooler. So with my second one, I decided not to use the heat resistant sheet, but instead just go in with my heat press still set at the medium setting, and I felt like I had a little bit more confidence on this one. I felt like I didn't need to put too much pressure on there, and it seemed to go on a little bit easier than the first one when I'd used the heat resistant sheet. But again, it's the timings I couldn't tell you. This video sped up a little bit too, so it's hard to be exact. So the first shoe was now cool, and I tried again to pull that off. I just needed a bit more on the sides. It seems the sides, you can see it's a bit of an angle with the slip-on part, so you need to make sure that everything is stuck down before you pull it off. So I tried again, and this time had luck, and and it came off quite nicely. There was a little bit of the glue residue left over because I did press probably a little bit too much, more than I should have, or I did use the iron more than I should have rather than pressure. So I'm just checking again onto the second shoe, and again that R at the end of summer, it has caused a little bit of a problem, but just one quick go over with the mini heat press and it was fine. And that's the shoes done. So I'm really happy with those. That can be something that I can wear around the house and just down to the lake, or you could wear them to the beach. The HTV from Teckwrap is super easy to use, so I thought this was a fun experiment to do. So that's the end of today's tutorial. If you've got any questions, let me know. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye-bye.